spirit there's a kindred spirit that I see in you. And like you told me the other day that you just left New York. You just left everything behind, and you just were like, okay, I'm gonna put everything in a bag and just move to Berlin. And I'm like, I did that too.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like 5 years ago, I used to live in London,
Right.
and I just left everything during the pandemic because I was going crazy,
Right.
being locked into a room. And I was like, I'm not living my life like this. I remember there was an afternoon when I was trying to kind of force myself to fall asleep at 5 in the afternoon because I was just waiting for the day to be over. Because it was in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh,
so there was nothing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do anything. And I thought like, this is not a life to live where I'm just waiting for life to pass. And I just left everything. So that was like over 5 years ago, and I've been on the road since. And then I heard that you did something like that, and I was like, oh my God, we're the same person.
we have,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have some serious things in common.
Yeah. Right? Because there's a particular type of person that is willing to do something like this, you know? I have a thing, like, I think romantically Americans are this, where they left everything from their countries and they just moved to a new place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And now we're doing this, but without the colonization,
Yeah, right.
Slave trade and all of those things.
Yeah. Just all the nasty parts are removed. It's just the fun jokes parts,
Kebabs, multicultural.
Baklava, right?
Yeah. Oh, have you tried the baklava down here?
I tried it in Neukölln, but I don't know what specific one you're talking about.
So baklava is, you can find it throughout the Middle East. Turkey, and the Turkish people do it really well. Lebanese do it well, But what the Turkish people have discovered is baklava with milk. It's called cold baklava.
What?
Yeah, you can find it in Syria, like northern Syria, and sometimes in Lebanon as well.
Yeah.
So instead of that heavy syrup, which sometimes could be just too much,
Yeah, I don't like that syrup, bro. Yeah.
Imagine instead of that, it's the same thing, but just milk. The milk makes everything just kind of fresh. It's baklava to another level. It's one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life.
That sounds good. Yeah. I'm not really that big of a fan of milk, but just it sounds so good, those two things together.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So, but no, you bring up a thing about, jumping into it that, you've been traveling, you've been on the road for 5 years, but then hearing the backstory behind it of like you living in London during the shutdown and then you just packing everything up and leave. Like, so yes, you went kind of crazy, not crazy, but you was going, okay, crazy. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like you could leave the house for like just twice a day. That was the mandatory allowed amount of exits that by the government. And I remember one day my housemates went like, "This is the third time you left the house." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, those count. I mean, I mean, that was a crazy times, bro.
Yeah,
like everyone was, even me, like in New York City, I was, there's restrictions in terms of what places you can go in and stuff. Yeah. But it was like just very loose, and for a city like New York City to be shut down like that was so crazy. I would imagine like London. So during that pandemic time, man, I remember the day before everything shut down. I remember I was at a mic, and it was me and my friend, and we're kind of talking. I was like, yeah, I think I'm about to go home or so. I think this sounds serious because I was working near Penn Station, and it had the first case in New York City, like not too far from it, and Penn Station is like the most busiest station. So like literally that whole COVID was probably circulating a lot already. Yeah. But this time was serious. People were start shutting things down. Food was being scarce. So then I was like, I think I should go home. And he's like, yeah, man. I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do. I remember going home, and then the next day, everything was just shut down. Yeah. Everything was shut down. And it
so
was like
for months, you're locked in your apartment in New York.
Locked in, bro. I was almost going crazy too. Yeah. And I was near the hospital that had that has the highest amount of cases. So you heard ambulance sirens every hour, every 2 hours for like months. So like it was just like you hear sirens, that's somebody who has it, that's somebody that's going on. And did a lot of writing. I was part of this group that we did 1,000 words every day for a month.
Oh wow,
that's how crazy we're going. We're like, okay, let's just do something. Yeah. And comedy was shut. No, comedy was still going on a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
But like outside, right? Like parking lots and people honking their horns when they found something funny. That seemed just so weird.
Zoom.
Horrible.
Did you do any Zoom comedy?
I did, I think 2. And I realized that no, this is not appropriate because people were just turning off their cameras to laugh because I was saying just outlandish shit, and people were like, "Oh, I can't see, I can't have my friends see me laughing at this horrible stuff."
And the worst is that if you're bombing, to see yourself and see your face responding to what's happening,
the reflection,
bro, wow. The amount of times I turned my screen off, I was like, "Hell, let me turn my screen off. I don't want to see how I look like. This is too much information."
Yeah. But then you're looking at yourself and the faces you're making, and you're like, "What is that? What's that on my face there?" You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just kind of, when do you do FaceTime with people? I don't do FaceTime.
You don't do FaceTime?
No, because I'd just be looking at myself. You know what I mean? I'm looking because not
you
just
got a nice beard, so
in an obsessive way, but it's just like, is this what I look like? Is this what people see when they're talking to me? How are they taking me serious? You know what I mean? Like I'm just
why am I blinking this way?
Yeah, because I think the mirror is one of the most evil things in society.
Evil?
Yeah, because you're not supposed to look at yourself.
But suppose you there's always once in a while when you have something on your face that you didn't remove, and then
but that's why you need friends. That's why you need a community around you to tell you, hey man, you have something, and just do this.
Community's so expensive though. A mirror's like what, $5.99?
No, community's free.
Kind of free on the back end. On the back end, it costs money.
Yeah. You like long term. But I think it's just being able to look at ourselves at all is just insane. This is not a natural thing to do, right?
I think, looking in a pond, right?
But that's, like the Greek story of the guy who looked at himself in the pond and felt himself with himself, That's not good.
Wow. So, I guess during those times, ever since that story, you had to close your eyes when taking a
Exactly,
bath.
right? Because think about like the history of like human beings. Like we've never been able to look at ourselves. We never knew how we looked.
Yeah.
Right? We just lived. And then the mirror came, and then now we're like this, just kind of looking at ourselves. You know what I find very weird?
What?
When people have photos of themselves as the wallpaper on their phone.
I mean,
really, there's no one else in your life that's you care about? Why is your face there?
It's a reminder of good times. Maybe the time they're in is kind of rough now.
Not with their friends, but like photo shoots. Like people
really?
do photo shoots. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, that's just too much, right?
Yeah. That person is not going to pay you back if you give them money or something.
But if I can sometimes understand, people having photos of their kids or their spouse or their partner, their family, whatever, but of themselves, just posing in a park.
Okay, I mean, what? Posing? Ooh, posing in a park?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You can see that it's shot with a professional camera because of the bokeh behind. It's just
with the bokeh too behind. That's crazy. Yeah. The more high quality it is of your self portrait you have on your phone, the worse it is. It's like, okay, this is too much.
But this is the strange thing because we're aware of this, but it feels like our entire life is dedicated to how important our thoughts are. You know what I mean? Because the field that we're in, we're like, you know what I mean? Basically, our job is like, you shut up, everybody. Just don't make a noise. If they interrupt, you get upset, right? And then you tell them, hey, I have my thoughts here, my precious little gems. You know what I mean?
You have to listen. You paid for it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. This is our job. We chose to.
We did choose
to be
it.
So self-involved.
I mean, how did you choose this job?
It's a childhood
comedy?
Dream, man.
Childhood dream.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do this. It's just making people laugh. Is my ego just gets tickled inside.
Really?
So yeah.
Okay, was you a funny guy in school? Like in early childhood school?
Try to, Now looking back, it's very strange, looking from a professional kind of lens to it was just ego and narcissism,
I mean, that's kind of the step 1 and 2 of comedy.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I was funny kid, weird kid too, because I used to imitate stuff on TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, I used to imitate cartoons a lot, and I used to really be specific about like certain cartoons.
Yeah.
And laugh at it. So I'll what was weird is that I can have a good time just laughing at cartoons by myself.
Yeah, but what cartoons?
So we talking about Ed, Ed and Eddie, Johnny Bravo. What else? Some other ones that come. I mean, you got the classic Tom and Jerry, but those like reruns long back.
Yeah.
Also,
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network. Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Also, too, old school stuff too that really I think helped shape me, like watching Three's Company.
Okay.
All in the Family.
Yeah.
Was
so it's like 70s, 80s type of like American sitcom. Type of stuff.
I used to watch. Yeah, that was probably weird as a kid. Like I actually used to watch it and like envision myself in those scenarios or something. Like like John Ritter and the three girls in the Three's Company.
Yeah.
And like having the theme song and knowing it as a young kid, and people are like, "Yo, how old are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, just that's what's on." Yeah.
Would you be calling people meathead and what's?
I would have sharp sarcasm that was just unplaced. It would just be like the stakes involved were just toys and someone not playing with it right, and I'll just come with sharp sarcasm, be like, "Yo, whoa, what?" They're like, "What are you? Whoa, bro, what's going on? These are just Legos." I'm like, "Nah, like you kind of weird about playing with these Legos in a certain way. Like, what are you, a meathead?" And then people are like, I didn't think that was part of your vocabulary. Meathead.
Hockey puck.
Puck. There you go.
That was another one. Right?
Yeah. Oh, Jay, so you also. Yeah.
I watched a few because I was fascinated. I've been fascinated with like American culture like all my life, and I watched all of these things to understand the references and to understand like what the standard is and what the basis of like modern comedy is in the United States. In order to understand what's happening now, I wanted to watch, like just be familiar with stuff like I Love Lucy.
Yeah, I Love Lucy. Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Just to understand, why the references exist.
Yeah. Did you also have like not the reality TV shows, but like these talk shows like Maury or
not to the same extent as the United States. You guys invented that to the level where it's affecting society.
It did affect
Jerry
society.
Springer type of stuff.
Jerry Springer.
Everybody kind of learned. Yeah.
Yeah, like you are not the father, you are the father.
Yeah. You're both the fathers.
Yeah, I mean, that too. Yeah, sometimes
that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, you learn a lot about dramatization. I learned that early in life. Kind of like different camera angles and like my mom never took care of me. Bleep 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 bleep. She was never she was never looked after. And it's like,
but it feels like it's a turned life. It's just exploitative of just people's lives and hardships and dramas. It's because it used to be like, when you watch all of these sitcoms, it's controlled, right? It's made up.
True.
But this was like actual people that you could go and visit their house and go like, oh, look, that's where they did that. You know what I mean? That's where he cheated on his wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can visit those places because it's just attached to reality. But, But for example, like watching Seinfeld, you go to the restaurant and you're like, oh, this doesn't actually look. The restaurant in Seinfeld that's in New York? Yeah, I've been there. Really? I went to New York specifically to see this type of stuff.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, I went to Seinfeld's restaurant and I go inside and it's just photos of Kramer. And I'm like,
photos of Kramer.
Like, just the actor. You know what I mean? There's no booths. There's no like places where George and Jerry would sit.
Just a place. There's a place with Kramer all over the place.
Just overpriced, bad hamburgers.
Yeah, right. They know what they're doing. Unfortunately, they're like, we knew somebody's gonna come from somewhere out of Europe and come visit and pay.
But this was a big thing to realize like how much the image of American culture has been ingrained in my brain. And when I actually saw it, I saw just how fake and just actually not that good it actually is, right?
Yeah.
Because I imagine like dollar slice pizza. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to New York. I'm gonna get a dollar slice pizza.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Oh, you probably got the wrong one.
Yeah, blame me.
No, not you. No, it's the way New York is set up.
Every time I criticize someone's like cuisine in their culture, just like you didn't just go to the right place. And I'm like,
but that's everyone's culture. Like if I go to Romania, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay, if I go to Romania, what's the dish to get in Romania? Like if I was to go, like
it's just papanash. Papanash is pretty good. It's basically like donuts, like a different type of donuts with sour cream and jam on top.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Damn, bro, that sounds serious.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there a place to get the best kind, or like is there anything I should watch out for?
It just varies. If you don't like the papanash after your experience in Romania, I would also blame you for not getting the right one.
Oh, okay. Well, we're in the same boat. There
Absolutely.
you go. Yeah, we have pride in different places. You have pride in sour cream and jam and fried dough, and I have it in dollar slice pizza.
But just to have like jelly beans, that was insane.
There's no jelly beans in it?
No. Like at the time, there weren't. No. I went to the United States like 2010, I think.
So in 2010, there was no jelly beans out in Romania?
Or they were like, I couldn't find them. I had like jelly beans, like peanut butter and jelly in the same jar. Those like Jiffy, I think it is.
Jiffy.
Yeah. Where it's like a rainbow of just grape jam and peanut butter. Yeah.
And you liked it?
I was disgusted by it.
Okay,
but
cool.
I was enamored with the idea.
Yeah, I mean, great idea. Yeah.
Just
It's not practical at all.
Yeah, just not having more than one knife to clean.
Yeah, it's terrible. And like the thing is, when we do the first scoop, it's okay. But when we open that jar and look at it again, you're like, this is a mess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I thought I was going somewhere in life.
Yeah, it looks like the flag of Macedonia.
The flag of Macedonia.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's also like
it's like what, yellow and red or something.
Yeah,
nice, I know a little something. Yeah,
fantastic.
See, for anyone who didn't think I knew, but So okay, so Romania, you born and raised there, yes. And it's interesting to hear about the American influences that you had, comic, like from a comedic standpoint.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that shapes you on your comedy moving forward.
But this was the standard for everybody. Like I assume everybody from Berlin that you've done this podcast with, this is how they learn about stand-up as an art form, as a thing to do professionally. Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Fluffy.
Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias,
Pablo Francisco.
Oh,
with the voices.
Yeah,
that was fantastic. The movie guy voice.
Yeah.
That just blew everybody's minds back home in Romania.
Man, that dude's so funny.
These guys were so popular and so good. I saw Romanian comedians translate these jokes word for word and do them in Romanian.
That's a big thing out in parts of Europe, right? Like the direct translation of
and pretend like it's their bit. I saw a guy in Romania do Bill Cosby's dentist.
Yo, stop playing.
Yeah, like the bit where the spit just goes from the mouth to the whatever sink, and you can see the rainbow. I remember the guy saying it in Romania, it's the rainbow. And I'm like, I knew it. I was the only one in the room.
And I bet people clapped. They was like, oh my God, genius.
Genius.
Wow. Look at that. Local legend based on some legends, other jokes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This is the standard, right? And everybody here, I assume you've noticed, we're trying to emulate American style comedy. The shows that are designed in the same way, the style of writing, the attitude is American. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes with British influence, depending, like The Alternative, I think they have a very heavy British influence, like Stuart Lee. But yeah, this is the standard.
That's
America.
So interesting that because UK is right there, and UK has comedy there as well. But
but they speak funny.
they speak funny.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree, but I mean, you're so close there.
But the first interaction with English is American movies, right? We don't watch like Fawlty Towers.
Yeah,
we watch Seinfeld and Friends.
That's a good point. And
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you're a smart guy. You have degrees and you went to college, so you're a smart guy.
Yeah,
and you traveled a lot.
But this is just to kind of go back to the point of American comedy and the comedy here. I think it's starting to become something different, where it's just purely not just necessarily European, because this is happening all over the world, but comedy in English as a second language for the performer and the audience, right? Because in the audiences that you play for here in Berlin, maybe a few native speakers, everybody's from somewhere else.
Yeah, different temperaments, different type of understanding of like jokes and things, which is, I mean, it must be interesting for you because you travel a lot, like, performing and like dealing with those differences at I almost feel like sometimes at a per show or per region level, or no, even per country, let me say, like in terms of how people receive jokes, like.
Yeah, but it's the difference is they're quieter or louder. You know what I mean? That's the only difference. They understand the same thing, but it's culturally not that, I don't know, if accepted. For example, the further up north you go in Europe, they're more they're not that expressive. You know what I mean? They are stone-faced throughout the show, and at the end they go like, this is the best show I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, you not smiled at all.
I'm not gonna lie, man. For the first couple years being here, that shit threw me off, because it's like, whoa. But then, to your point,
this
that
is
is
how
what it is.
They learn how to behave, right? You don't show emotion in public. You don't start yelling. You don't make all sorts of noises.
Yeah,
but then
true.
the more you go south, you know what I mean? The more people are loud and they interrupt and,
interrupt, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a cultural thing, But people understand the same words, the same concepts, right? Actually, I think to a greater extent than native speakers in countries that speak English natively. I think here you can talk about much more complex things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine because Berlin has also a lot of people from like most majority speaking or primarily English speaking, cultures, right?
Yeah.
Or
But they're all
countries.
smart, right? In order to speak English as a second language, well enough to go into a comedy show where there's wordplay, where there's all sorts of references. People are very educated.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And they're from everywhere. You know what I mean? From all corners of the world. It's fantastic.
yeah, that definitely makes sense though.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Because the same joke works, right? The same joke that works here in Berlin works in Copenhagen, works in Estonia. You know what I mean? They don't respond as loudly, but they still enjoy it. They still understand it.
yeah, which is
Right?
interesting. I mean, because as an American, when you come out here and you do certain jokes, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some jokes where the references are not one to one.
Yeah.
So there's that. But then
Like American football, nobody cares about American
nobody
football.
cares. Like, and probably no one cares. Like in a very direct way. They're like, hey, I kind of know what you're talking about, but I refuse to care about it.
Yeah, because it's a game for children. If you really want to play American football, rugby. You know what I mean? No pads. It's just for weak men.
Yeah, I mean, but our football has a lot of capitalism in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got our jerseys with the stars on there and like, the little patches.
Have you seen a rugby game ever?
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Rugby, every time I see it, I'm like, I cannot stop watching.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
this is
just
so good.
Proper concussions. You know, like just.
I think the best thing you have is like a little padded ear.
Yeah, because they've just clashed. So it's just an insane sport. But it's the same. Rugby is the same. It's like American football, but for men.
Yeah, true, I guess, but not something about just throwing a ball far down the field.
Yeah. But you can't throw it. This is the thing with rugby. You can't throw it forward. You have to always, if like you pass it, to the back.
Really?
Yeah. That's one of the main rules. Yeah.
Oh.
So Americans, like a quarterback, can throw the ball over everybody, and then a guy catches it and just scores. Whatever. I don't know the terms. But in rugby, you can't throw it forward.
I mean,
it always has to be.
That probably signifies
it
American
makes it
culture.
So much more difficult. You really have to advance. Yeah, you really have to advance.
I'll say difficult in different ways. Like that I didn't know you got to throw it behind you. That's kind of crazy. To be running and somebody about to like run into you, you got to throw it behind you. That's like crazy. Mm-hmm. But I think like the whole throwing a ball to somebody so far away, it's like this weird. Now us talking about it, so weird. Like American football, a quarterback has to throw the ball far down the field to a wide receiver that's like being actively, being defended on by somebody else, and like get it into his hands.
Yeah.
And like the vision that you need, like, there's big dudes coming at you that's trying to like literally break you apart. Like they literally like, hey, I'm trying to injure you so you don't move.
Yeah, but they have helmets. So
but even the helmets too. I mean, your head bounces around, somebody's back, still, right? But like really trying to jam into you, you gotta throw this ball far and gotta keep on going. But I think that's such an American thing because like about precision, it's kind of like a pseudo form of shooting, right? It's kind of like, all right, I'm trying to make sure I hit my target all the way there. So I would see why people here in Europe don't give a fuck about it.
No.
Yeah. Or like this animalistic sport.
No. It's not about that because rugby is much more aggressive, but it feels more real because there's no protection.
Yeah.
They're just kind of going at each other. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's very crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, cultures.
Yes. So your culture is that a Romanian culture?
Yeah.
But you've been in different cultures like London, and you've been traveling around.
I kind of lost this whole Romanian thing because I've been on the road for so long, and I've seen how everybody kind of tells themselves this story that they are something, and how that has changed over time, and how the version that they're believing in now is just random most of the time. It's sometimes connected to like the nature and the geography and the things that they have locally, but it's all manufactured.
All manufactured? What is
like give an culture is a social construct. It's not a real thing. And culture changes over time.
When you say it's a social construct that constructs itself, given that there's a certain group of people within a region that tends to coalesce or, come together and work amongst each other?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what it is. I mean, it's almost like inevitable, right?
Because every culture has been renamed, redefined, changed by invasions, religions, all sorts of things. So culture is not a monolith that's been traveling through history. Like here, every part of the world that you can pinpoint, uh, 200-300 years ago, people spoke different languages, believed in different things, ate different things, sang different songs, danced different dances. So
I guess culture then would be like, I guess we could think of it as a snapshot
yeah,
in time.
yeah.
So, I guess in terms of Romanian culture in this particular snapshot in time, what is that to you? Like,
Well, it's trying to. It's very difficult to pinpoint what Romanian culture is now, because there is a resurgence of traditional values, and people looking back 100 years ago and trying to resuscitate that type of culture because it was kind of wiped off.
Yeah, wiped out, I think.
Wiped out
Yeah.
by communism. So communism actually is this belief that what prevails is humans and the human society. So culture is a made up thing, so it has to be erased. Right. My point is that I don't want to erase culture. I'm just observing that this is what it is.
Yeah,
but the communists deleted everything and rebuilt national identity and cultural identity to suit them.
Yeah, so in a sense, culture is not only a snapshot in time, but it's something that's very malleable.
Yeah, because culture. Look at culture here in Europe. Nobody cared about Halloween 10 years ago.
Fair enough.
Now every time October comes, you see like spiders and pumpkins and everything, and I'm like, what is this? This is how everything at some point came into being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it is something that's always malleable. It always changes and things. But I guess in terms of culture, and you bring up a good point, because now I would assume, in reference to you, since moving out of Romania and living in London, and you performing in all these different countries, that you've seen cultures in a very close way that a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Like, what have let's do this, right, in terms of culture, right? Do you remember like the first country that you went to that the culture was like drastically different than the one you was aware of, like the ones you were aware of?
When I went to the United States that same year, I went to Egypt and Denmark, and totally different, all of them, compared to where I was from.
Wow, Egypt and Denmark.
I lived in Denmark for about a year. I stayed in the United States for about 3 months, and in Egypt for 2 months.
Wow.
Just all sorts of like random reasons. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the US, I went with Work and Travel, which is this great program where, as a student from a third world country, you get a visa to work in the United States in laundromats, Burger Kings, and parking lots and all sorts of stuff, like the lowest, like minimum wage. I was getting paid. I was in New York State, in Binghamton, New York.
Ooh, they put you there?
Yeah. 1 year after one of the biggest like mass shootings. Yeah, there was a guy who went into a post office and just shot a bunch of people. And I remember Obama spoke about it like publicly. It was just like quite big. And I went there like the year after, not because of that. I didn't go there.
Yeah, no. You seem it's like the same person. You wouldn't do that, no. From what I've gathered, you seem,
I went there and I worked in a laundromat, I don't know, between 12 and 15 hours a day. Yeah. And I remember I got $6.15, out of which they took tax, and I was paying like over $100 for accommodation for a room per week.
Ooh.
Yeah, just insane. Just taking advantage. And everybody that was working there was Romanian and Moldovan, which Moldovans are very like Romanians, but it's a part of Romania stolen by Russian.
Okay.
So
like pretty much the same.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much the same language, the same a lot of things. And there were like over 60 of us, and just washing underwear of kids from all sorts of camps in the United States, that they were sending truckloads of like dirty laundry.
Oh, yeah, man, they threw you right into the gears of
But for us, we were like, oh, I can make some dollars. You know what I mean? Because then after I worked in this place for 2 months, I traveled by myself for 3 weeks. Yeah.
Really?
I saw all of the things that I wanted to see. I went to see Niagara Falls. I went to see like the Philadelphia Steps where Rocky goes, and the museum at the top.
Oh, shit.
Have like Philadelphia cheesesteak.
Oh, you had that?
Yeah, of course.
That's why I went.
Oh, great.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, so you really saw like a good part of like the American culture.
Yeah. I went to like the Smithsonian Museum on the Mall in Washington D.C., Empire State Building, Brooklyn Bridge, and all of the things. Yeah,
bro. So you was okay. So yeah, you had this bone in your
because I wanted
body.
to see this. I grew up with these ideas.
Wow. And you went? Did you go by yourself or you? Was like,
by myself.
Man, so you had this bone in your body, this exploration bone of like traveling, seeing these new places.
Yeah, because comedy was always the thing that I wanted to do. So this was like, oh, how do I understand more about this?
Yeah, I mean, did you understand? Because this is something I'm always curious about.
I went to the Comedy Cellar. It was the year where Louis brought out his first season. I remember I was buying the New York Times because I was fascinated. I could buy the New York Times, and I was reading the New York Times, right? Yeah. And I remember there was a review of Louis, the show.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it just came out.
Oh, so you was on Madugal Street right there. You probably saw all the craziness that was going on.
I started watching that in the States, and I remember I went to the Comedy Cellar to see what it's like. I went to see like the taping of the Colbert Report.
Oh, bro.
Huge fan of the Colbert Report. One of the best shows ever made.
Yeah, bro. You was in there. Yeah, you was really traveling.
Yeah.
Man. So before going to like, places like New York and things, did you understand or know the concept of like stand-up comedy at that time?
Yeah.
Or just okay, you did.
Yeah.
Because with stand-up comedy, people know about comedy. Sometimes stand-up comedy is like still like new, different.
Yeah.
Even I know for me personally, like I knew about stand-up comedy, but I didn't know how to get in or like what.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, I didn't know the ins and outs. I knew that it's an art form. I was watching specials, like I knew of, so many comedians at the time. Yeah. I just watched everything I could, just pirated stuff, just downloaded it on torrents, and just watch as much as I could. Yeah, like Comedy Central presents, like all of the people from Dave Attell to, Kathleen Madigan.
Yeah. Oh man, and then Premium Blend. Remember that?
I don't know that.
That was like there's like pretty much the same like Comedy Central presents, but something similar. Like Comedy Central has so many different like lineup shows or showcase shows and stuff.
Remember Comedy Central presents? That was just groundbreaking because I saw the people that now are like considered some of the best in ever there. Like Mitch Hedberg had a.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah, Kathleen Madigan, man. Huge fan of such a underrated comedian.
Wow, yeah. I'm trying to remember some of her stuff. I think I like the face to the name. I'm trying to put it there. But so you travel to all these places. I mean, to be honest, bro, every time I hear someone that comes from like outside of America, like say from Europe or other countries, and they go to United States of America, and they go to these places like Binghamton, New York.
Yeah, I didn't know. I would just go anywhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It didn't matter to me. I just went there to work. I wasn't able to do anything aside from work because it was just so exhausting. Yeah. Just working all day just to make some money and then travel.
It's just so sad though, because like if I was in Binghamton, New York, like I would be sad. Like I would just be like, oh my. So then your first exposure to American culture is that of like Binghamton, New York.
Yeah.
But you made it out alive, so that's good. It's just always interesting to hear someone like go from like I traveled from France, and the first place I went to was Kansas City, Missouri. You're like, what? I never been and never plan on going.
Yeah.
And you went there. That is wild.
But then you see, like, for example, one of the things was like how just bad the houses are. You know what I mean? Because here you come, this is very solid, right? In the United States, this is just, a thin sheet of something that you just can punch through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are these the houses that people live in? It's just mind blowing.
Yeah,
like Sunny D.
Trucks. Yeah.
Seeing Sunny D, having Sunny D, it's just horrible. But I saw it on TV and I was like, oh my God, this great orange drink that the Americans have. And I was like, oh, this is horrible.
Yeah, y'all got like fresher juice than the one. Yeah. We just have good marketing, but not good ingredients. That's what we have there.
That's kind of what I saw.
Yeah, you're like, wow, the marketing is so good. It tastes so nasty, but the marketing good.
And another shock was I knew so much about America and American culture and history and everything, and Americans didn't know anything. Not just about other countries, but about, like, I would tell people about the Colbert Report, and they were like, we don't know what that is. I'm like, how can you not watch?
In New York, they didn't?
Not in New York City, but in Binghamton. You know, the people that worked in the laundromat with me, you know, the managers, they had no clue about nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't know either, because at least in the East Coast, like at least some knowledge about it, but they didn't know anything about it.
But you know that Mitch Hedberg joke about, you might have seen this next comedian on the David Letterman show. It's like nobody saw him on the David Letterman show. A better introduction would be, you might have seen this next comedian at the store, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, I actually saw him."
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That each place has their own connection with certain, like, you know, type of formats, and, like, you know, late night show, or, you know, different things.
But just normal people wouldn't know about these things because they have their own life to live. But I was just so obsessed that I thought that everybody knew. You know what I mean? I thought, like, oh, Jon Stewart. Everybody knows Jon Stewart.
And it's like, no, we don't.
Yeah.
You talking about my landlord? You like, what? No, I'm talking about the guy who's on Daily Show. Like,
exactly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Wow. So so let's now go into so you're well known for not only your comedy, but also too the amount of places you travel and did comedy in, like the amount of countries, cities, and things. And so as of right now, how many countries have you performed in? Like
about 60 countries.
60 countries.
Yes.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
And what made you want to go to so many countries? Like,
it's just, this is the thing. It's just transformed into this. You know, you can't plan this because the way that I do my shows is I'm self-produced. So I produce my own shows independently. This has never been done before. You know, like everybody that's toured ever has done shows at comedy clubs. You know, local promoters who organize a show, come on over, do a spot, headline, do a weekend, whatever.
Right.
What I'm doing is never been done before. And it's me, Dragos, and now you, and, you know, like a little just fringe, like a few people here and there starting to do this. But this has never been done before.
Yeah, because that must have been scary. Well, I mean,
like I sell the tickets, I promote the tickets, I rent the place. It's totally not with local promoters, with very few exceptions. For example, Hong Kong. I can't, you know, organize my own show in Hong Kong. The rules are so strict.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So what gave you the confidence to do that? Because I mean,
it's just ignorance and having to do this, wanting to do this, and there's no alternative. You know what I mean? It's like, what is the alternative? Because at the beginning, until you get into people's, you know, the promoters, they start liking you and start booking you for long spots. It takes years. You know what I mean? At the beginning, they ask you to do 7 minutes for like 15 euros in another country. And I'm like, how am I going to travel there? Right? I'd rather organize my own show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that is a bold move. Like just period, not even in stand-up comedy, but just in entertainment, for you to see a place that you want to perform in, or just it comes to interest, and then you making the things on your own to like find a venue, to set up the tickets, to do all this stuff, the promotion, advertising, everything. Like that is a very big deal. You know,
there's multiple factors. One, necessity. The other one is the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. It kind of teaches everybody in the UK, and that was the kind of model that I kind of learned from the British I realized after a while that all of the venues at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, this is just a closet that someone transforms into a venue. And I'm like, oh, it's just a room with a light and a microphone. Oh, I can find this anywhere, right? And you start like running your own open mics, little showcase shows here and there. So this is kind of the model. But nobody takes that from the festivals and applies it somewhere else. And that is where the last factor in this was Dragos. So Dragos is a comedian here based in Berlin. And basically, I started coming into Berlin about like 2017, I think. You know, I did a show. I remember I did a show at Du Beast. There's this bar in Neukölln.
Oh, Du Beast,
yeah. And it fits 50 people. And I had 65. Just people were just standing and I couldn't believe it. This was done just through sharing the show on the groups here in Berlin.
Wow.
Blew my mind. I remember I was like, I can't believe how much money I made. You know, I made a few hundred euros, but to me, it just blew I was like, how is this possible?
Right.
And then I kind of started coming back and doing like spots throughout Europe, and sometimes trying to organize my little show. But then I saw Dragos. Dragos in 2019, he did 106 shows. And I remember I saw this and I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
106.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I saw him, and he started doing, like trying to use Facebook advertising, thinking about shows in a different way, touring to a more complex level than I was doing at the time. And I was like, oh, I should be doing this as well, because it's like there's space for everybody. So it was just kind of a cumulative. Um, it was just a bunch of things happening at the same time, just kind of pushed me to do this. But
Hmm.
these were the factors, yeah.
Yeah.
And since then, I've just been doing this for the last 5 years and something now.
Okay. And something that I guess the word on the street or even on your profile on your website is that you don't have a home.
Yeah,
Is that true?
yeah.
So you've been
Because I'm on the road, like I'm in a different place. It doesn't make sense to have a home. Because where am I? I'm not in a place for more than a few days per year, maybe a week or so.
yeah, I mean, yeah, practically yes. But I'm talking about
Yeah.
in terms of like the emotional, spiritual, like saying I don't have a home. It's so
But then everywhere else becomes home.
well, how do you make a place home? Because home is
You
so
just go there
subjective.
a bit, because Berlin feels like home, because I know how to get here. I know where kind of the area where you live. I know where to find good food in the area. I know how to get public transport. I know how to you know find my way around this place. And I'm learning this about over 100 other cities in Europe.
Okay, so because you go to
I know
some
where the train station is. I know where to find good food. I know where to stay. I know where the venue is. After a while, you get to know all of these places.
because yeah, there's still some cities that you haven't been to yet, or some new cities you've been to
Yeah.
as of this year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like, how does that work for you going to a new city and like just
Well, the new
making that
cities, they're
home?
new. But then after a while, if I go there, like I've been coming to Berlin since probably 2016, 2017.
Mm, okay.
So yeah, I know where the train station is. I can walk through Berlin, certain parts of Berlin without a map, because I've just been here so many times.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow, but that concept of not having a home is so it's so interesting. But at the same time, it seems like the stage is your home,
Yeah.
and that's what matters. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, do you remember like the first couple cities you went to and how that like felt for you when you started like venturing
Oh,
out?
so scary. So, because some shows were good, some shows were not good, some shows were just horrible. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to think about things. So it was just a crash course of learning all of these things.
Hmm.
Sometimes when we talk about like producing the show in a city, and I maybe tell you, hey, don't go to this venue. It means that I've had a horrible,
Ah.
evening, and now I know. Okay, I've learned not to do this. I've learned not to do that. I've learned not to go here, and you know.
Hmm.
So the first cities were Berlin, Prague, Lisbon, I think Barcelona, Amsterdam, Copenhagen.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
those are
yeah,
some
yeah,
solid places.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nice
Like the
places. Yeah.
the the, the big cities in Europe. The cities that now have and then had quite a substantial comedy scene,
Hmm.
specifically in English. Yeah, at the beginning you go and do a spot, and then you go back, and then you do a longer spot, and then you do more spots, and then you go for a few days, and then
Ah, okay.
yeah,
You kind of started it like organically in a
yeah,
sense
yeah,
of like,
yeah, yeah.
check it
Because
out. Yeah.
like what we're doing now, you're doing the same thing as I'm doing. We're producing our own shows all over the place. It was not a thing to do, really.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Nobody was really doing this. So I didn't even consider that this would be a possibility,
Hmm.
until you start hearing about, oh, there's two guys in Vienna that do this, Jack Holmes and Reggie Barris.
Oh,
It's like, oh,
okay.
they keep going through Europe, and they promote the shows on their Facebook, and then you hear about Daniel Ryan Spalding, which now is just an insane Zionist. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh, wow.
But he was a pioneer at the beginning. There was stories about him, because start hearing these stories about, oh, there's a guy who does shows, in a few countries, and they go to these places and they
Mm.
post about the show on Facebook, and people find out about it, and it just sells out, and you know. So it's just kind of developed. I never knew that I was gonna get to this place, because I never knew that this was a possibility, and I don't know where things are gonna go from
Hmm.
now on, because I don't know.
Yeah, because
Nobody knows.
hmm, That's so interesting to hear from you because these are some cities that you've gone to that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what goes through your mind about going to some cities that don't have a scene? Because you've been
Now it's just about adventure on top of everything, right? It's going to a fishing village in Iceland. And you know what I mean? Let's see what happens there. I did a show in Iceland in a place called Neskauptadur, in a bait shack. A literal bait shack. Yeah. That has like a little restaurant attached to it, and they have like a room, and they have like local people come in and sing songs and do all sorts of stuff like that.
What?
And we're like, oh, let's do a comedy show. Yeah.
Hold on, but like, how does that conversation even go for you to contact a bait shop to be like, hey, I want to
It's the only venue in town. They don't have a theater. They don't have a comedy club. It's like, where can I find a place that has a microphone and a light?
What? Oh, so, man, there's so many. I don't even know how to even answer this question here about like, it's for the adventure, but like, at what point did your adventure start going to these far flung places?
I don't know, a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. When for example, I wanted to do Iceland, and I spoke to the lady who now is my tour manager, Holly Blay.
Oh, nice.
Let's do Iceland, and let's see if we can do something. And we did, I think, 3 cities at the beginning. This was probably 4 years ago. And after that, we were like, oh, we managed to sell tickets. People came to the shows. Let's go back. So a year later, I went back, and instead I did like 7 cities.
In Iceland?
Yeah. And I took a car with my friend Mike Rice. I don't know if you met Mike Rice.
Mike Rice from the UK.
Yeah. And we took a car and we drove around Iceland, and each night we did a show. And then last year I went with Radu Isak, also a friend of mine. We did this, and now I'm going back, but now I'm just doing 2 cities because I've done the whole adventure thing. Now I'm just going there to do like the 2 big cities, and maybe next year I'll do another trip.
Wow, so you just having an adventure in life because
absolutely.
Yeah, because this is not known in comedy like this, especially because you've been doing it like for what? How many years? You said?
13 years.
13 years, right?
Yeah, 14 years.
Yeah, so like around this time, maybe, and again, I'm coming from like an American, New York City specifically standpoint about like how this type of like way of doing comedy is so unique.
Yeah.
And even the way you talk about it, you're like, for adventure, because usually touring or doing comedy outside of your realm is for career advancement.
Yeah.
But for you, you're like, hey.
I don't care about career advancement. I care about doing shows, getting better at comedy, giving people a good time. But also, because I don't live anywhere, I don't have to go back home. So I have 3 days, and I'm like, okay, let's just try a show in Narva in Estonia, which is the city close to Russia, where you can see Russia across the river, where 95% of the population speaks exclusively Russian. I'm like, let's go there.
And you just did a show there.
Yeah. I had like 25 people.
Wow.
I don't need more. But it's in a place that even Estonians don't go to. You know what I mean? Let's do a show in Uzbekistan. You know what I mean? This is the first show in English in the history of the country. Why not?
Wow.
I did Kazakhstan, the first show, the first solo show in the history of the country in English. And then I went back, and then I did more show because I loved it. I had such a great experience.
You know what's funny is that probably someone who's trying to recreate like your system or your model, they're probably like, oh man, if Victor did it here, then we should go. And you're like, yeah, I just like fresh fish. I'm going there. And for them, they're like, oh, so why there's only 25 people? And you're like, yeah.
But you don't need more because it's like, it's not about having like 300 people every single day. Yeah, I can get 300 people in Reykjavik. You know what I mean? The capital of Iceland. But then on the other day, I can go on the island in the south of, you know what I mean, where there was an active volcano like 30 years ago, and you can see the lava just stop at certain streets, and then, you know what I mean?
But you do understand that to go to a place where there used to be an active volcano, you can see lava for 25 people.
Yeah. But now it's solid. It's not,
Yeah, but
But there's an active volcano that can, erupt any day.
Look, I don't want to sound hoity-toity or very like, superior here, but to go to an active volcano and for 25 people, I'm like, that takes a different type of, let's just say, a different outlook on life. To be like, oh, okay, this is, living life on the edge. There's lava, 25 people.
Yeah.
It's getting hot in here. You know what I mean? Like, So that's interesting that
Warzones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So I've seen that you went to Ukraine.
Yeah,
and did
December
comedy
last
there.
year. Yeah.
December. Yeah, I saw like some of your videos. You was like
Yeah.
in bunkers and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
performing. So
2,000 people in total.
2,000 people in total came out
Yeah.
to your shows.
Yeah.
So first of all,
Amazing.
what led you to go to Ukraine to perform
I went
comedy
there the first year of the full-scale invasion because my friend Fedor Ikelar was there like a few months prior, and he told me like, "Hey, like the people really need the shows. It's a great thing." And we were like, "Okay, let's do this for charity." So we just raised the money for some Ukrainian charities, and we had the experience of going there and actually talking to the people and seeing how it actually is. You know what I mean? Yeah, went to Lebanon, did shows in Lebanon like a few months ago. Same, raise money for charity just to kind of see what the life is like and talk to the people there. You know,
Hmm.
that's that's what can be done with comedy. But then if everything is for career advancement and getting a TV deal, you know what I mean? Then that's what you end up doing.
Yeah. Because the places you go to also, like, I mean, active war zones and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think that's where it really starts to become like, wow, like you're
Yeah.
doing this for like, not only for your own, like, yes, you want to make people laugh and stuff, but
Yeah.
you also doing it for benefits. Like you done things for helping raising funds for the family in Gaza.
Yeah.
For like the people in Lebanon,
Yeah.
for like, Ukraine. So you also have these shows, man, that are like,
But the people, man, that's the thing. You see the humanity in everywhere you go, and in the eyes of the people that come to the shows, and you see the jokes work on the same thing, and it's a human connection. But it's also, for example, I went to Azerbaijan, which is one of the most stringent like dictatorships in the world, and I feel like people came to reconfirm their humanity and their place in the world. That even if they live in a bubble, they're still up with like the news and everything that's happening. They're hip. They know. They're
Yeah.
like this crazy guy that comes. Let's see what he has to say. You know what I mean? And I reconfirm my humanity by being there and talking to them. These people that live in this type of environment where there's no freedom of press.
So
it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
This is the thing that keeps me on the road is the people that come to the shows. It's beautiful to meet them, to talk to them, to do these shows. That's the reason why I do this. It's laughing with people that are so interesting and kind and smart and clever.
Yeah, but it's like another, because I've been to some of your shows and we talked about this before the podcast, right? That in your shows, man, you talk about some topics and the way you connect with people are in ways that are like on the edge of comedy and then like podcasts or kind of not commentary. Let's just say something that's like you're connecting with people in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you balance that? Like between, okay, it's a comedy show, you're a comedian, so you got stand up, you got jokes and stuff, but then you also have this ability to connect with people in the audience and also have a patience to like hear these people out, them telling you stories, you connecting, and you have this these two different energies, let me say, of like comedy and then also connecting with people. How do you manage those two energies in a show?
I don't know how to give you what answer to give you because this is totally uncharted territory. I don't know where this is going. So I'm just exploring some new things because as we were talking earlier, this is not like any other place that comedy has done before. The audiences are I don't think an average audience in Berlin is like could find people from such different backgrounds in New York, in LA, in London, in Melbourne, anywhere. But you can find them here.
Right.
And they all speak English as a second language. And they all come from such interesting backgrounds where you can reconfirm the humanity in all of these experiences. It's just like we're all figuring out like, oh, this is just me living in a dictatorship. Oh, this is me dealing with life, when there's not electricity, it doesn't run 24 hours. Oh, this is me, living in the whatever other environment people come from.
Yeah. I wonder if the amount of traveling you've done into the many places you've traveled to and the amount of people you've spoken in each of these places had an effect on you in a way
Absolutely.
that where you have this connection with humanity to where you have to, not have to, you almost like feel compelled to talk to people in a way that's like very, deeper than just like jokes and things. It's just interesting to see that in a show
because it's so not done, and it's so rich and so interesting, right?
yeah, because bro,
Yeah,
sometimes your shows, man, it can get political. And I'm
yeah,
just like, sometimes I'm in there, I'm like,
yeah,
whoa, hey,
yeah.
how,
Why not?
okay, but I mean, but you're there and you're not moved, not say moved, but you're not like shaken by it
Yeah,
because sometimes I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I'm in the audience, I'm like, bro,
yeah. Because I'm doing this every day, and I know that people are uh l- me.
hmm,
You know what I mean? I know w- that the reason why they might think that they're different from me is because they're taught that they're different. But I believe in them being humans like me. At the end of the day, even if we have these conversations, I know that, oh, you're just believing this because whatever circumstances. But you're a human like me. You care
yeah.
for your family. You care for uh, 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 the people around you. You want to be a decent person. You want to just live in a peace. You want to live with other people. But sometimes it's just all sorts of beliefs, all sorts of concepts, or sorts of ideologies seep into people, and it might make them think that they're special.
Hmm. That is a theme that I've probably noticed from some of the things I've watched, and also
Hmm.
from your last show about like this feeling or thought about we're all the same,
Yeah,
and that is not there's not too much differences as we've been taught.
yeah,
So that's interesting for me to hear that from you and how your thought process around that.
yeah, yeah,
You obviously got a show soon, but last question I have
yeah.
for you, right?
Go
So
ahead.
you've been through many different cultures, man. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, you're probably one of the few people that are known that have access to so many different cultures.
Hmm.
And not only that, but spoken to these people in these cultures, right?
Yeah.
You yourself, you also been through different cultures
Yeah.
from London, Romania to New York, all these places. If you used to go back to your younger self, what would be the number one advice you would give to yourself?
Oh. Um. Hmm. Uh. Maybe jump sooner.
Hmm.
Yeah. I feel like I thought that things are supposed to be a certain way, and I was trying to uh, reconstruct how things are supposed to be, do comedy in a way that I thought they were supposed to be done, um, um, build a life that I was supposed to, I thought that I was supposed to have or or I think, yeah, just jump and see what happens. Just
Hmm.
like I'm assuming that's the connection with you because you've
Yeah.
made the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh, Trust people more. I don't think people are as bad or as mean as we might think sometimes because
Mm.
of our previous experiences. Um, English, learn English. I think this is the best.
Learn learn English.
This is the best advice that I could give any young person. Learn English. Learn a third language, a fourth language. This is gonna open your mind, and you can talk to the people that you hear. Sometimes you hear people on public transport speaking a different language. You're like, what are they saying? Why? You know what I mean? Sometimes you're in an international group of people, everybody's speaking English, and then someone switches. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? It makes you feel
Yeah.
removed, and like, why are they speaking a different language? You know what I
Mm.
mean? They're probably talking about you, but
Yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
different point.
yeah, that's the feeling all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
right? You're
yeah,
like, "Oh, they
yeah,
switch because 'cause I'm here," and
yeah. But
don't
just
wanna
knowing other languages, it just opens so many doors to information, to people, to anything. It's yeah,
Nice. I mean,
yeah,
that's good practical advice. Jump
yeah.
in English, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just kind of just live your life is not supposed to be lived in one way. There's no correct way to live. As long as you're not harming people, just do whatever you want.
and shit, bro, you definitely doing it,
All right,
man, and I look at
but
you.
you're as well. You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah,
is this is the thing. I'm not doing something extraordinary. I'm just a part of comedy.
I mean, bro, you did comedy in a bait shop in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere, Iceland. That is different.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is different. That just the confidence to do that.
Yeah.
is very.
But this is the thing. If you look at it as, oh, it's a bait shop and the part of Iceland that's least inhabited, uh, then it seems like something exciting. But the show that we're gonna do together tonight, it's also in a room with a light and a microphone. They're all rooms with lights and microphone. That's
which
all.
is a whole bunch of beer, not bait.
Everything in the Madison Square Garden. It's just also a room with the light and microphone. If you look, because this is the thing, I was looking at things that are like venues, right? But then you start doing the circuit, the comedy circuit in the UK or in the US, and you end up, oh, this is a comedy club, because online it shows like the whatever village comedy club. Come to the comedy club, and you go there. Oh, it's in a room upstairs in a pub.
Yeah, the camera angles and everything. They really do a good job of making it seem so big.
Yeah,
you go
all
inside.
Theaters are just a room with the lights and chairs and the microphone.
You know what? That's actually good advice there too in itself. That to look at things as just what it is. It's a microphone, a stage, and you're just there having jokes and connecting with people.
Absolutely. And this is the thing, because it's removed by middle people, middlemen, to make themselves seem important and necessary. Right? They go like, oh, but have you thought about marketing? It's like, what's your unique selling point? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
all of this bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, but do you have the credits? I'm like, what the fuck is this all about? Nobody cares about all of these things.
Yeah.
Right? People care about a human thing. Comedy it's an extreme version of just talking. Right? It's just someone talking because they have the microphone and they've prepared. Right?
Right.
But when you meet with your family, don't people tell jokes? Are people not trying to make each other laugh? Are people not trying to tell stories and share? It's the same.
I mean, true. That's my roommate. Cool.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, that's so interesting. Every time I talk to somebody that does comedy to like the level you're doing, it just always challenges my brain. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely does, because I'll say my brain is now far removed out from New York City a bit, but still has these remnants of like these things like credits and middlemen and all this like that. So it's always dope to hear your part of it, your reasoning about why it doesn't matter as much, especially here, because then it gives hope to people to go out and do it. Now, of course, they got some other things such as the social media marketing, all that other fun stuff.
This is the thing. There's no Picasso of advertising. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not an art; it's a skill. You just learn. It's basically, if you think about all of the people in your life that you know or that you grew up with that now do marketing and advertising, they're the stupidest kids in class. I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah. They got a few smart ones though.
Yeah, but then, there's the real smart ones. They become, actual, doctors, engineers,
like agents,
agents.
Yeah, agents. Yeah, I mean, look, I know there's a lot of agents and managers out there that are not. But the ones that are,
What do the agents get you? They get you a room with chairs, a light, and a microphone.
Well, I mean, agents out here, I don't know how they work out here.
Yeah.
It seems like, clearly you don't need one. Yeah.
Yeah. In the United States, what do they get you?
An agent makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You get to, use that when somebody asks like, who's your agent?
Yeah.
And you're like, this is my agent. Do you know him? Oh, yeah, I know him. You're like, well, yeah, that's my credit. My credit is the agent that I have.
Yeah.
That represents me.
So like having like a good pair of shoes.
Yeah.
You're like, what shoes are those? Yeah. Oh, they're like Nikes.
They're people. So, they have nice shoes.
Yeah.
But, they make calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got, they make calls on a nice new iPhone.
Yeah. But this is the thing. Are they doing something that me and you can't do? We can call a guy.
True.
You know what I mean? We can call a guy and go like, hey, is your venue free on that date? Cool. Can you leave it, open for me?
Well,
I'll come and bring, 50, 70 people.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, look at you, Mr. Big Shot here. 50, 70 people. That's,
But that's all you need.
Yeah.
Right? You don't, actually, you don't need more than 100 people. That's enough, make enough money, enough everything. Just 80 to 100 people. It's a perfect size room. It's a perfect size crowd. Enough. This is the thing. It's enough.
Okay.
Anyway.
One more question, because this is the last one. We have to go soon. What are the top 3 tips you can give to someone that would like to start doing comedy in Europe and like do touring?
I don't know.
Like just general things. I don't know if it comes to mind for any of the people that are comedians or entertainers that would like to start going to different places and do their own show.
I don't know. Top 3 things. I don't even know where to start. It's a very complex
Or things
thing.
that come to mind. I mean, clearly
There's
it's
a lot
complex.
of a lot of things to take into consideration. Top 3. So can you
You want me to paint you a
ask
scenario?
again?
Yeah. So the scenario is that say there's let's go with a comedian. This is your pocket. A comedian wants to do a show in a different country or something like that, a different city. Let's just say they want to do it in Poland or something like that, in Wrocław or something.
Wrocław.
Wrocław.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That place. And they want to do a show there.
Yeah.
What are some of the top 3 tips or tips that you can give to that person to do a show in, say, that place in Poland?
Okay. First of all, find a venue that will have your show. Make sure that you book that. Don't agree to high rents. A lot of people are trying to screw comedians with like 50-50. You know, like I keep 50, you keep. That's just daylight robbery. Start a company. You to sell the tickets through. Sell the tickets yourself. Don't leave it to other people. Learn how to promote your own show. Use the videos that you already have on your social media that are going viral. They're proven that they work and people respond positively to them. So the videos that organically go viral, use them as promotion. Figure out a simple title for the show. At the beginning, people don't come for the comedian; they come for the show. Try to figure out a clear way to tell people what type of mood the show is, what type of comedy you're going to do, and make it very clear that it's in English. Try to get local comedians to exchange experiences, to kind of meet people from the local scene. I think that's it.
No, that's good advice, man. Yeah, some people don't know, so that's good advice. You know,
but this is what can be done. But yeah, just getting a company, doing everything by the book. So you know what I mean. You don't have like tax issues. Make sure that the country you're going to it's okay for you to organize your show by yourself. Some countries have all sorts of odd rules when it comes to ticket selling, and but if you do everything legally through a company, it should be fine. Try not to book one show so you have expensive like travel where you fly in and fly out of a city, right? Try to organize a little tour where you can take like buses and trains from one place to the next. So if you go to Wrocław, go to Łódź, go to Poznan, go to Krakow, go to Warsaw, go to Gdansk, Szczecin, then go through Slovakia, Czech Republic, go through Berlin, and put things like close to each other where you can take a train, and then the next day you have another show and another show. Book small rooms at the beginning, you know what I mean? With 50 people in the room, you make enough to cover your costs, accommodation, promotion, and other things.
Nice, bro. No, that's very helpful information. Not only for the people here, but for me too as well.
Graphics that looks professional, so that people see that there's effort and intent in the way that the show looks. But make sure that it's very clear that the show is in English, because local comedians will also do stand-up comedy in Polish, and they call it stand-up comedy. So how do people know that it's in English? Because it's very niche, in a country that does not speak English as a national language, they need to know exactly that it's in English. It's very important detail. Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. Well, bro, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is a very good talk, as usual. Thank you very much.
Likewise. Yeah, I'm fascinated with what you're doing. I think you're doing a great thing. I am a fan. I am obsessed with your obsession of minutia and the little detail. I'm a big fan of the videos that you make. Like, you're fascinated with everything, and I'm like, shit, there's just something so genuine about, like, man, in Berlin they have trees. New York, you don't have trees. If they do have trees, they're just guys want to stab you. But in Berlin, man, the trees and the leaves, sometimes they float the leaves and they fall on your head, and it's so nice. They make like a crunching sound. And then you see like a squirrel, man, in New York, they'd stab you. The squirrel would just come in and just shank you in the ribs. But Berlin, man.
I would find that. Yo, that's funny because my brain, as I'm laughing, I was working. I'm like, are there any differences?
Yeah.
With the squirrels?
The squirrels, man.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That is hilarious. Well, look, I'm glad we didn't do that in this podcast, because I could have gone deep into like, I'm very nuanced. Yeah, I like the specifics and stuff.
That's fantastic. Do your thing. I'm very happy that things are going well. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you,
and
man.
All the best, man.
Bro, that means a lot, man. Thank you very, very much. And I'll make sure to do a video about the squirrels. Thank you for the idea.
All right.
Guys, thank you for listening and watching the Third Culture Talk podcast. I'm your boy, Jan Yennefen. This is Victor
Pãtrăşcan.
Pãtrăşcan. There you go. I want to make sure I said it correctly. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. There you go. Perfect. My man. That was very good, man.
Thank you very much. I don't know. This is
Nah, that was good, bro. Nice. There you go. That's what I was like, okay. It's very difficult to cut.